Dr. Shaw is here from there's the Butology, but what do you call? You need to scoot in closer to that microphone so you can be clearly heard. Now, Butology, that's where you do all the cosmetics and the skincare and the lips and all that stuff. But what do you call the deal where you do all the body sculpting?
So that's Butology Surgery Center. That's where that's it's still called Butology, but we have kind of everything in under one roof, so we can do everything, whether it be surgery or body sculpting or lips, anything. All of it's on one location.
And you have your own surgical center where you do all you're able to do this in-house.
Yeah, absolutely. You don't have to go to the hospital. We have our own accredited surgery center. It's like a little mini hospital inside our office.
That's a big deal right there.
It is a big deal. It is a big deal.
Because a lot of this stuff, you have to go check into a proper hospital, and you got to do it. You got to have to go to you, and you get all your checkout, and you're ready to go, and then you would go to the but Butology, it's just one-stop shop.
Right, and the best thing about that is, you're not herded in with a whole bunch of other patients that are necessarily sick. All of our patients are very healthy, so when you come to our surgery center, there's there's no chance of infection.
Yeah, they're not going to give you the MRSA like some hospitals do all the time. Gosh.
The MRSA?
The MRSA.
The MRSA.
You get the MRSA?
No, I didn't get the Stephen Nicholas when he got his skull situation. Kid almost died, and then he got the MRSA, and they had to go in and chop his head open again.
Yeah, MRSA is a bad deal. It's a hospital-acquired infection.
Yeah.
And when you're in a surgery center like ours, you don't have those infections that occur because we don't have those type of patients. Everyone comes in healthy. So, yeah, it really prevents any type of problems.
I hadn't thought about that, but that is a huge selling point.
And privacy, too. It's like you're not in there with hundreds of other people. It's just you. We're focused on you.
Yeah.
You don't see anyone else that day. There aren't hundreds of patients around in the surgery center. It's all about you that day.
Okay, especially when you're like a big celebrity person. You don't want to, be and have everybody
like you.
You don't want to be signing autographs on a gurney or something.
Wow.
No, we were talking about this the other day. I have I lost 49 pounds. It was 50 very briefly, but then I seem to have leveled off.
Easter happened.
It was not helpful. But at any rate, and I exercise a lot, and I mention this because there's a lot of people in this exact same boat. You go out and you decide to get healthier and whatnot, and you work and you work and you work and you eat right and you do all that, but there's still stuff that the simple fact of the matter is not going anywhere.
Right. Exactly.
And I don't care how many crunches you do. And there's a bunch of exercises, by the way, that are bull crap. Because if you do them, all I have left is these two little bits of right here. And I found these stupid exercises that you can do and all that. But now I'm finding out that it doesn't make that go away. It just turns it into muscle. You still have the little things sticking out there, but now they're hard.
Right.
Thanks a lot, exercise. So, but that is a perfect example of you could get that gone,
right?
But not through. There's no way diet and exercise is going to do it.
So I'll tell you something. Diet is great. But it's going to make you lose, and exercise is going to make you lose fat all over the place. There's not such a thing as spot reduction of fat. And people look up exercise all the time, like you did, and they want to spot reduce the fat in their love handles. It's just not going to happen. You have to lose the weight all over. And then there's resistant pockets of fat that no matter how much you can lose another 20 pounds, it'll still be there.
Oh, that's what I've been. A personal trainer told me that. I'm like, man, that's not what I want to hear at all.
Yeah. So we have a couple different treatments for that. I want to tell you about one that we haven't talked about yet. It's called the Venus Freeze. Have you heard about that one yet?
Is that the one where they put the thing on there and it sucks the fat in, then freezes it, and then the fat cells go away or whatever the deal is?
Kind of. So it's a non-invasive treatment, and it's a machine that we put on the outside of your skin. So you don't have to go to sleep for this. It's all done in our med spa area, and it uses radio frequency and magnetic waves to reduce the fat in that area. So this is a great treatment for spot reduction of fat in the love handles. That's what we use it a lot for.
You're telling me the same technology that I use to pay my mortgage, radio, can also get rid of my love handles.
Radio frequencies.
And you know what do you call? Because these aren't even love handles. These are in the back. It's like I have these little cushions to protect my kidneys or something. It sucks. I'm not for it anymore.
Yeah, and they don't really have a great name to them. The back of your waist, your hip, whatever you want to call it.
The back of my waist.
Yeah, exactly. But
and here's the thing. It sounds. I never really considered myself a very vain person or anything like that because I mostly don't care. But when you put the work in to lose that much weight, those little things that are left really bother you.
Right. It's like for women are programmed to hold their excess fat in case of an emergency in their lower abdomen and in their thighs. But men, it's that the back of the waist area and inside their abdomen. That's what gives us the beer belly when we gain a lot of fat. It's inside the abdomen. So the only way to lose that is like what you did. You lost the weight. But when we have excess fat on our love handles area, the only way to get rid of that is either with liposuction or with something like Venus Freeze that's going to get rid of the fat that's resistant to weight loss.
All right, so this Venus Freeze deal, how long does something like that take?
It only takes like about half an hour, 45 minutes. You come into our office. Now, it's not just like an in and out deal. There, you might need a couple, 3 treatments. But the nice thing is you can just come and do it in between segments or at lunch or something and come right back to work.
See, now that just seems kind of cool right there.
Yeah, you can multitask.
I know there are people out there that work and struggle and do, and then you see these people like these Hollywood types. I was watching some interview. The first time I've ever heard, Hop, you would have gotten a kick out of this because it involves Captain America. They were interviewing Chris. They were interviewing Chris Evans, and they said, "Well, how do you?" They were talking about Captain America and how do you like filming? He said, "I hate it. It sucks. I don't want to do it anymore. I have to work out 6 hours a day and eat a very specific diet." And he said, "I don't." That is literally, when you see those people, if you're wondering what do you have to do,
right.
You have to eat a very specific diet and literally be in the gym for 6 hours a day. Regular people can't do that.
And that's their job. I mean, they have to look good for their job, right? It's impossible to spend 6 hours a day in the gym.
Yeah, who
I
can
wish.
do that? Yeah, and you can hire a personal trainer and all that. But here's the deal. At some point, your personal trainer is going to go, hey, you know that little blob of fat you got right there? That's yours for life. They're going to bury those with you. Well,
a lot of our referrals come from personal trainers, actually. It's just, they just can't help them anymore. They're like, you got to go see Butology because that's the only way you're going to get rid of that.
Do you ever get people that get like the lap band surgery and that, and they just want to have because they get all kind of poofy and weird looking after that? Because when you lose a bunch of weight like that in a fairly rapid clip, it does leave you with some challenges that you guys could probably help with.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, weight loss surgery is one of the biggest sources of plastic surgery right now because when you lose weight, especially rapidly, you have loose skin. Men and women both get it. And they come to us afterwards to remove the loose skin and the resistant pockets of fat that won't go away despite the weight loss.
Holy cow. No, you see those people and you just feel bad. But people just need to know that you can actually have something done about that.
Right. It's sad because, they go into this weight loss surgery and they think they come out the other end just looking and feeling
a ton better. Like that.
And there's still more that has to be done. The skin is still there. And sometimes it's depressing for them because they've, lost all this weight and they have this loose skin and they're like, oh, I wish I'd gone back to just having the weight on. But the skin can be removed. We can make it look a lot better.
Yeah, and I've told people this before just as advice. When you start off, whatever your weight deal is, if you're going to stick with your diet and actually do it, make a plan. Like maybe you save up some extra money or whatever the deal is so that at the end, if you're going to lose 50 pounds and they'll take that, because that, I mean, it wasn't, I just exercised a lot while I was doing it and I did it over a long time. Skin's really elastic. It'll draw up.
Right.
But if you lose 100 pounds, I guarantee you there's going to be a lot of leftover skin.
Right, absolutely.
And then you just look gross, but for a different reason.
You have to give your chance a skin, your skin needs a chance, time really, to contract back down, like you said, because it's elastic. Losing weight on your own, your skin gets that time, so it's going to contract. But when you lose it with like a weight loss surgery, you lose weight so fast that it's hard for your skin to keep up.
Yeah, and then you just look kind of cartoonish, and your skin's just loose. Is that how hard is that to do? Is that, I mean, it's got to be really commonplace.
It is very commonplace. It's not just your in and out tummy tuck because there's a lot of loose skin, a lot of weak muscles that we have to deal with. So it is a little bit more complex. However, we do it every single day. So for us, it's pretty easy.
I hadn't thought about the muscle part of that. That's a big challenge when you get in there and start. Well, that's why you guys. It's why you guys go to medical school, and I just sit here and do this. It works out a lot better for me. I would guess that and by the way, I already know this statistically. The fastest growing, and this is scary, group of people that are getting cosmetic surgery done right now are men that are under 40.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's not just 50-year-olds that want to look 40 anymore. It's 40-year-olds who want to look 30.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
Yep.
But we have this youth-obsessed culture, and it's CEOs and it's successful people, and it's unbelievable the people that are doing this now, and they're outpacing women that are getting this stuff done, and just in the rate of growth.
Right, absolutely. I mean, a lot more men are coming to our office now. We actually have a whole website now called Butology for Men, just to kind of cater to our male clientele.
A little less frou-frou website.
Right,
a little
exactly.
More manly.
Exactly. More manly colors and things like that. However, I'll tell you that as technology gets better and better and more of this stuff is less invasive, I think that's another reason why people are doing it at a younger age, because it's not that big of a deal anymore. It's not like going under surgery. It's not like you need tons of time to recover. You can go right back to work after a weekend with a lot of these even surgical procedures.
Holy cow. Wow. Well, yeah, that recovery time is a bit. So this, but like if you do this, what is it called? A Venus freeze thing?
Venus freeze.
You just go on your lunch hour and sit there and it freezes for a while and.
Yeah, then you just go right back to work.
And then
Absolutely.
it kills those fat cells, and then those make their way out of your body naturally.
Right. So your lymphatic system absorbs them, and then they come out of your body naturally. But the radio frequency waves disrupts the fat cells, so the fat actually comes out of your cell.
See now that we got to take a break, but see now you're in a deal where I don't understand. Liposuction, I get it. It goes through the little tube and then out, and then in a bag, which then later Brad Pitt picks up and makes candles. I get that. But the freezy part and radio, what you can kill fat cells with radio waves.
Yeah, absolutely.
Hold on, we'll talk. We'll be right back. More with Dr. Shaw after this. It's First Look with Scott Cox. It's Bakersfield.com and News Talk 1180 KERN. When I had my Google Glass experience back in the day, I thought, okay, first of all, I'm really creeped out that nerds are just going to wear these and are going to walk into the Padre or wherever they're hanging out and shoot video of everybody and all that, because I'm not for that. People need to enjoy their privacy. But I said the applications of this for stuff like doctors, for stuff like law enforcement, for stuff, if you're a surgeon, if you're an EMT, and you could be looking down at a patient, and you could have another doctor at the Mayo Clinic somewhere looking at this on a screen and going, okay, I need you to do this and this and this. Now the Google Glass becomes awesome.
Absolutely.
And you are going to be one of the first to wouldn't you know, Dr. Shaw would be one of the first guys to adopt this technology. What are you going to do with it?
So I'm working with a group of plastic surgeons, actually, to bring Google Glass to surgery, and specifically plastic surgery. So one of the things, like you said, is communication. We're going to have a group of plastic surgeons that whenever we have a problem or something unheard of in surgery, which, surgery is surgery. Every time you go in, it's a brand new case. There's some nuances that we want to talk about with other doctors. And when you're in the operating room, you're kind of isolated sometimes. Yeah. So our group of plastic surgeons plus the other ones are going to be able to talk to each other during surgery if we need to get each other's opinion.
Right there.
Yeah, it's amazing.
And you see these and not just on television, but in real life, a lot of these big hospitals, all these surgical people, they have a camera above the table.
Right.
But you've also got a bunch of people leaning in there and working on people. You're going to have an absolute surgeon's eye view of this.
Exactly. The camera above the table doesn't work. We tried that before. You can't see what you need to see. This allows two-way communication. You could still keep your eye on the patient while you're communicating. Yeah. It's fantastic.
Yeah. Right. So when I put the Google Glass on, the first thing I pictured was doctors and stuff being able to consult with somebody else if in the off chance you see something you've never seen before. Can you imagine just being able to just brief in some guy, some world famous Austrian surgeon, just and he just gets his iPad out and he's looking at what you're looking at in real time.
Exactly. And in plastic surgery, believe it or not, we do a lot of math during surgery because we're trying to figure out the right size implants to use, for example, keeping track of how much we've liposuction. To have all that information at our fingertips during the procedure is going to be huge. It's going to make our surgical cases just go so much smoother and better while keeping our eye on the patient.
Not to derail this, but a lot of this terminology just freaks me out. When you're doing like liposuction on somebody, you have to, you can't take out too much. You have a certain amount going in.
Exactly. Yeah, absolutely.
And so, and all you can do is basically guesstimate that when you're beforehand, right? And you figure out what you're going to need to take out, and then is there like a machine that tells you how much you've taken out, or
there is absolutely. So it's more than a guesstimation. It's we actually make calculations so we know how much to take out, and then we look at where you have more fat on one side compared to the other. So we're comparing the volumes all the time. You see,
that is just so scary right there. I mean, of all the stuff to think about, and it really is. It's just like you see on TV. They take that little tube, and it's just a suction deal.
Yeah.
Can I ask a question about that too? It's kind of, I know. So you're sucking out all the fat and you're cutting off the this and you're trimming off the that and you kind of, you don't just throw it in the waste basket there by your side. You put it. But what happens to that? I mean, that doesn't go to the county dump, right?
Very good question. No, we have a special pickup service just for the products that we have in surgery, and they pick it up and they actually incinerate it at a special facility. It's all monitored very closely by the state.
That is wow.
Yeah.
And
so,
where is that here in town, or they haul it upstate?
It actually goes up to Fresno. The incineration facilities in Fresno. So they come here and they pick up this, whatever specimens from every hospital.
So somebody's job.
There
is somebody right now in his car driving to Fresno with a trunk full of liposuction fat.
Yep. And it gets incinerated.
And extra lips and
that's amazing.
and skin and
and obviously you're a fan of this freezing and this. Now, first of all, let's say you got. Well, let's use me as a perfect example. I got these two little blobs of unwanted me back here.
I want them.
No, you can't have them.
Oh, okay.
I mean, how do you determine what you push people toward? Is it the radio thing? Is it the freezing thing? Or is it the lipo thing?
That's a great question. So every person is an individual case, and it depends on your available recovery time, how much you have to get rid of. So what we do is if you have a lot more than the radio frequency device is going to be able to get rid of in a reasonable amount of treatments, we'll try to guide you towards liposuction, but only if you could take like a few days off after surgery to recover. For someone like you who's super busy, you don't have a lot, I would guide you more towards a radio frequency.
Really?
Yeah.
And what is that, like exorbitantly expensive? Or
no, not at all. I mean, you could just go by treatment, or sometimes like I'll try to guesstimate the number of treatments you'll need, so you can get a package of 5 of them. So it's not that bad.
Well, I think I would. It sounds worth a try.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm going to try it myself.
It's a lot less invasive. Well, if you need I could be like a trial, like a guinea pig or something. You could test it out on me. We're talking about less than this coffee cup, probably. Just these two little. And that's just straight up gnarly vanity right there, too, that those things are bothering me. Every time I sit in my chair, just kind of. Well, is one of these technologies going to end up ruling out over the others? If this radio thing works like a champ, that means the freezing thing's just going to go away. It's like a market-based deal, right?
You know what? Everything is a little bit different. Like the freezing thing is more expensive. It hurts more.
The freezing sounds kind of unpleasant.
Yeah, because you actually, you're causing an internal frostbite of your fat cells. So
see, I'm thinking that radio thing sounds better and better.
Yeah, I would give it a shot. Painless, totally painless.
And I don't need to know the science of how radio waves kill fat cells. I don't need to know that. We'll see how it works, and go from there.
Yeah, give it a shot.
And by the way, if you guys if you've never been to their facility over there, to call this a first-class operation is almost underselling it. You guys didn't miss anything in detail on this place.
You.
It is amazing.
Thank you. I
haven't been to the surgical center yet, but I'm guessing if it's anywhere right on par with the rest of the Butology outfit, it's quite something.
Yeah, well, I really appreciate that. I'll just give you a tour of the surgery center next time.
Oh, I'd love to. I'll go in there and have a look around, see what the latest and greatest is, and watch how that liposuction thing works. I've only seen it on television. I don't know. It just seems kind of awesome. I like it because I know the fat's gone because it's in that bin over there on its way to Fresno.
Yep, absolutely.
The other stuff, I don't have the visual of it leaving because it's just the dead cells go away later. Well, I don't know. We will talk about that. Come back.
Sure.
Come back whenever you have time. You're always welcome here. These guys are highly competent. His brother as well. You need to get your lips done, your breast augmentation, your pectoral. That's my next one. To get some pec implants. Just some huge Dolph Lundgren pec implants. Could you do that?
Not that big, but we can do pec implants.
Oh, women can go as big as they want, but guys, oh no, we don't want to go.
We have limits. Yeah.
Are those like? They would almost have to be like a hard plastic thing?
Yeah, they're a harder gel. Yes, absolutely.
See, at some point it's just like
so
the
much
Captain
to talk
America.
about.
Yeah. Next time we'll talk. This I have to see. I'm going to Google that one. Dr. Shaw, thanks for coming.
Hey,
in,
nice
as always. All around good guy right there. Speaking of nice people, when we come back, Shira Lazar is going to join us. You want to talk about a pioneer in podcasting and in broadcasting in general. This thing that we do here every day, she practically invented that. She's got this deal. It's called What's Trending. She's a very, very smart lady and an innovator. And she's going to be at the Bakersfield Business Conference where I'll be doing some modeling. You're not going to want to miss that. We'll do it. We'll introduce you to Shira right after this. And then a little bit later on, Lois Henry will come in. And we'll talk about the mountain lion that turned out to be a bobcat. And I'll tell a very funny cougar joke involving Cafe Med. Nobody will get it. We'll be right back. It's First Look with Scott Cox. It's Bakersfield.com and News Talk 1180 KERN.